could not get through the 6th inning, but he gets the win. And the Cubs bullpen, 3 2/3 innings, allowing just 1 hit, striking out 5. So the Cubs will go for the sweep today. They've outscored the Astros 7-2 in the series. When we come back, we'll hear from All-Star first base coach Dave McKay. Stay with us. Rain delay, pretty heavy threat of a thunderstorm here in the area, so we'll start a few minutes late as the Cubs wrap up a homestand that's been pretty good so far. They've won 4 of the first 5, took 2 of 3 against the Mets, and they've won the first 2 against the Astros. Big news yesterday as the Cubs announced the signing of 20-year-old Cuban-born outfielder Jorge Soler. He signs a 9-year Major League contract. He's going to start in right field in the Cubs minor league system. He'll have a little bit of a spring training-like setup down in Mesa and then join one of the Cubs' lower minor league teams. No word on when he'll be here, obviously, but you'd think because he's played a lot in his amateur career, maybe not too far down the road, maybe 2 or 3 years, as the Cubs hope they found their right fielder of the future. Well, Dave McKay coming over to the Cubs from the St. Louis Cardinals on Tony La Russa's staff for a long time. Cardinals win the World Series last year, so Tony La Russa will be the National League All-Star manager, even though he is technically retired. So Dave McKay will be in Kansas City a week from Tuesday, and he had a chance to chat with our Luke Stuckmeyer.
All right, thanks, Len. Dave, you get ready. This is the last home game before an All-Star game, and you're going to be part of that. How exciting is that to be over at first base at this All-Star game?
It is exciting. You know, a big part of it is having that 4 days off, too, because I have some grandkids. I like to spend time with them. And Matter of fact, when Tony ran the All-Star game in Detroit, I got out of that one. I stayed home. But this one's special. This is Tony's last year, won a world championship. He called me this winter saying that I'm going to manage the All-Star game, and you better be there. So I'm really looking forward to it, and it's a good chance to spend some time with him too.
More than 25 years you've had as a coach. Fans have noticed, the media has noticed the big improvement in Alfonso Soriano's defense. So what did you say to him in spring training, and what have you guys been working on?
Well, you know, what you do right out of the chute, not only him, but all the outfielders, Marlon, everyone, I would look at video. I'd look at 100 fly balls that they catch. Then I'd look at some ground balls. Same thing, just watch and take notes, and then how he comes through a ball and throws, and then you just try to simplify it. You know, it's just an example of ground ball. You saw 5 or 6 different ways he fielded the ground ball. So you say, we're going to do it 2 ways. One, you're going to make like an infielder, keep it in front. The other one, you're going to come through like you're going to throw somebody out. And I tell you what, you really have to tip your hat to him. He deserves all the credit because the guy was relentless about working at these things and wanted to get better. And it was fun to work with him. But that's what you do. You take a bunch of things he does, fly balls, you have a little hop in there. We're not going to do that anymore. We don't need to do that hop. We're going to learn to run smooth, glide to the ball, and breaking back on a line drive. You know, you don't want to. You want to stay sideways. You don't want to stay sideways. So you got some reach. Once you're facing the ball and your back's to the wall, you're in trouble. You know, and we stay on top of it. We stay on top of it during the season, and he has. He's worked real hard at it, and when things don't quite look right, you bring it up and you mention it. But like I say, you just kind of simplify it.
But hey, you have a good time out at the All-Star break, and we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and I will.
You know, Len, a lot of players in baseball, only 3 left fielders in baseball don't have an error this year. Alfonso Soriano is one of them. He'll get the day off today. We'll send it back up to you.
All right, Luke, thanks very much. We'll actually chat with Luke. He's going to run upstairs real quick here after the break. But Starlin Castro, 22 years old and already a 2-time All-Star. Congrats to him. And what a story. Brian LaHair, first full season in the major leagues. He's in. He's ranked 12th in the National League right now in on-base plus slugging. Playing mostly right field at the moment, but getting in based on his time at first base over the first couple of months. So we'll continue our rain delay coverage as the Cubs will host the Houston Astros coming up on CSN. in the area. After the game, it's the premiere of the Batter's Box presented by Midas. Catch the weekly quiz show that puts Cubs and Sox fans' knowledge to the test. Don't miss episode 1. 2 diehard Cub fans will square off in the Batter's Box tonight at 5 here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. And lo and behold, we have the host of the Batter's Box with us, Luke Stuckmeyer. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to the first one today. It's a Cubs theme today. Tell us about how each show will be themed.
Well, for the questions, the fans or the contestants have a chance to control how tough they want the questions to be. So if they choose a single, their question will be easy. If they choose a home run, their question will be really, really difficult. You're not going to score as many runs going with all singles, so you have to be aggressive at some point. But it was interesting to see how these Cubs fans and Sox fans would attack it throughout the game.
So you're going to do Cubs against Cubs,
right.
Sox versus Sox, and then the big finale will be Cubs versus Sox, right?
We go 15 weeks with this back and forth. You get the Cubs champ versus the Sox champ in the end, and then we'll determine which fan base is the most passionate and the most knowledgeable. It was a lot of fun and a big grand prize. At the end, the winner gets to choose which game they want to go to. They get a suite for all their friends for the game. They get to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. They get an autographed jersey and a bunch of other stuff. So really a fan's winning package afterwards.
I'm guessing as a host you probably learned a few things about Cubs and Sox history you didn't know.
Well, let me put it this way. I wouldn't have done very well in the game. The people that we found for this game, and it was just an audition that, we said, come on out to Kincaid's and show us how much you know. You will be stunned at how much some of these people know about the Cubs and White Sox. I knew fans were fanatics. I grew up a fanatic. Some of these folks really, really know their stuff. They must have media guides built in their heads.
Well, the story of the day today around baseball, the All-Star selections. The Cubs getting 2 All-Stars. Starlin Castro and Brian LaHare will be on the bench. As you see the starters, Buster Posey, a National League record in terms of votes. Joey Votto, not a big surprise at first. Dan Uggla of the Braves will be at second. Rafael Furcal at third. Pablo Sandoval and Melky Cabrera. So 3 Giants in the starting lineup. Carlos Beltran and Matt Kemp will probably not be able to participate because he is on the disabled list. But I think everybody assumed, Luke, that Castro would make it. But a great story in terms of Brian LaHare.
Oh, isn't that something else? Here's a guy who's been in the minor leagues trying to get up here, and he's just had an amazing first half of the season. And I think it's a great reward. It's also a player that has moved out to right field at this point, and there hasn't been a complaint. As soon as Rizzo got here, he was like, he's my teammate. He's opened his arms, and he's approached it all the right way.
All right, Luke, thanks for your work, and we look forward to the Batter's Box after the game.
5 o'clock tonight. We'll see you.
All right, that's Luke Stuckmeyer here from CSN, and when we come back, we'll hear from my partner, Bob Brenly, as we wait for the Cubs and the Astros from Wrigley Field.
Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Summertime at Wrigley, and the Cubs are soaking up the winds. Anthony Rizzo made a splash. High towering fly deep to right. Gone! His first as a Cub. We greet you live from Wrigley Field. You see fans in the bleachers able to grab their seats here after a threat of a thunderstorm. We hopefully are past that, but still we will begin under a rain delay. Astros and Cubs here on CSN Game 3 as the Cubs go for the sweep. And great to have you with us today. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. Temperatures expected to be in the 90s, but Bob, it's really cooled off here with the wind and the rain.
Well, anytime the weather changes in Chicago, and it changes quickly when it does, the wind direction changes, and obviously that changes the conditions here at Wrigley Field. So we're going to wait until we get underway, but until then, we're not sure which way the wind's going to be blowing.
At this point, it's been the Cubs' best homestand of the season. They've won 4 of their first 5. They had a blowout loss, but every other win has been mighty impressive.
Yeah, really good pitching throughout this series, with the exception of that 17-run loss against the Mets. You throw that game out, and the ERA has been a run and a half over the course of the 5 games so far in this homestand.
Lefty day at the ballpark. Cubs are very familiar with Wandy Rodriguez. Travis Wood coming off an excellent month of June. And in the case of Rodriguez, Bob, normally a lot better at home than on the road, but he's been good in the visiting gray.
Boy, if there is a pitcher in the National League the Cubs should be familiar with, it's Wandy Rodriguez. He's going to be making his 21st start against the Cubs today. Has not changed his repertoire one bit since the first time they saw him. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Travis Wood coming off arguably his best outing of the year.
Well, Anthony Rizzo, 4 games, 2 game-winning RBIs, so about one every other day, right?
Well, we'll take that for now until he gets a little better. But really, I think we've both been impressed. I think fans have been impressed, and certainly his manager and coaching staff have been impressed with the way that Anthony Rizzo has gone about his business. Doesn't appear to be intimidated at all, getting real good at bats, seeing a lot of pitches, and when he does make contact, he's hit the ball hard.
And doesn't matter, righty-lefty, Rizzo in that lineup every single day. It's been fun to watch him this week. We'll have the Cubs and the Astros coming up from Wrigley Field after the rain delay. And the grounds crew on the field right now, they still have not removed the tarp, but hopefully that is not too far down the road. Well, there's no age requirement for playing wiffle ball. Most of us give it up around puberty. Not so for a group of friends in the northern suburbs. They get together every week during the baseball season to play the game they still love after all these years. And recently they had a special guest. Chuck Garfien has a story.
More than anything else, baseball does connect to childhood. Come on, boys. Stay sharp at the field. It started with a lawn chair as a backstop and just got bigger every year.
This is Mike Leonard's Field of Dreams.
You know, you can look goofy, but so what?
Where every Sunday he transforms his front yard into a wild game of wiffle ball.
There we go. There we go.
I think a lot of times people look at that and think, oh, come on, grow up. Well, what better way to grow up than to do this?
For the last 30 years, Leonard has been a reporter for the Today Show on NBC. And for the last decade, he's been the host of a game that links bat and ball, past and present, fathers and sons.
This is Build It and He Will Come, because my son is now 27 and he lives in the city. And he comes every Sunday with his friends. He's my son. I don't have to say, hey, come on, you want to see your old man? He's going to come see his old man by just coming to play wiffle ball. You dog!
And on this day, the game featured a special guest.
You know, this is what happens in October when the shadows and the sunlight conflict.
The one and only Bob Costas.
Wow! I was talking to him one time, and I said, yeah, we play wiffle ball, and he was intrigued. Wiffle ball? I told him about the stadium. He said, I'm going to come. I thought, he's not going to come. And the next year, he flew out to play wiffle ball. That's the only reason he was here.
The idea of wiffle ball is not unique. Perhaps rare for middle-aged men, but not unique.
Ground ball. Costas ranges it. Base it anyway.
What makes it unique is the setting and the idea that this is sort of a league and they actually keep statistics and they have archival information and there's an actual scoreboard and that the neighbors not only don't object but seem to revel in it. That's the part that's unique.
Hey, Bob, what kind of hitter is Tony?
He's an all-or-nothing type. He's a Mark Reynolds type. High K total. The kind of guy who in an old 16-team major league would be in the Pacific Coast League. But now can find a home through arbitration, make $3-4 million a year, feed his family. And down he goes.
In the bottom of the ninth, with our team down by 5 and a sickly silence spreading throughout the ballpark, Costas stepped to the plate.
Shades of Ryan Howard in Game 7 of the 2010 NLCS.
And with 2 outs, it was my turn.
Bob, you realize 2 guys struck out looking in the last inning.
Correct.
Both sportscasters.
Correct. Why did I chase that? Too small a sample to determine a true pattern.
That's a good point. That's a good
Sabermetricians would reject this information as insufficient.
But even the most detailed statistics cannot measure the feel of the end of a season and time amongst friends.
It always makes me stop and think that's how we have to live. We have to grab these moments.
Both good and bad.
What did you think of my game?
I didn't pay much attention to it, really. It made no impression on me at all.
Chuck Garfien.
1, 2, 3.
Comcast Sportsnet.
Good stuff. I'll tell you, I would have swung at that 0-2 pitch. We are in a rain delay here at Wrigley Field. Right around the corner, more Sportsnet stories coming up, and we will have updates from the ballpark. Stay with us. The Houston Astros as they go for the 3-game sweep and a 5-1 homestand. Final home game before the All-Star break. Cubs will have a 7-game road trip starting tomorrow night in Atlanta. Well, the Edward Jones Player of the Month award goes to Alfonso Soriano for his outstanding play in the month of June. Edward Jones making sense of investing. Receiving the award from Steve Danicus, Edward Jones representative. Slightly overcast here at the ballpark. And getting set for God Bless America and our national anthem. Let's send it over to Andy Bellison.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise. Kindly remove your caps and join the volunteers of the U.S. Army Field Band as they honor America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The volunteers of the U.S. Army Field Band getting us set for Cubs baseball today. The Cubs and the Astros right around the corner. Guys, that's good. Going to get these storms out of the area. As the Cubs will wrap up a 6-game homestand. The big story today, Starlin Castro and Brian LaHair will represent the Cubs in the All-Star game along with first base coach Dave McKay. MLB News and Notes, Yasmani Grandal, first player in history to homer from both sides of the plate for his first 2 hits. That was with the Padres. Josh Hamilton, an All-Star this year, 25th homer, as the Rangers became the first team to get to 50 wins. And it's official, Jim Thome sent to the Orioles from the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll have more All-Star info coming up as the day moves along. Earlier we showed you the NL starters. Let's quickly check out the American League starters. I mentioned Josh Hamilton is on the team. He has set an all-time record in terms of All-Star votes, over 11 million votes for the 5-time All-Star. As the Texas Rangers are well represented on that list, they'll be managed by Ron Washington, the American League champs from last year. Now the Houston Astros Southwest starting lineup written out by manager Brad Mills. Jose Altuve, first action in a week. He's on the All-Star team. Jed Lowry at short. Carlos Lee still an Astro, at least for another day. J.D. Martinez in left. Matt Downs is at third. Chris Johnson's out with a strained left lat. Brian Bogasevic in center. Brian Bixler is in right. Jason Castro the catcher, and Wandy Rodriguez trying to snap an offer to start the year.
He can wait till next start to do that. Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon. Little different look against the left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. You have Joe Mather in left, Reed Johnson in center, Jeff Baker over in right field. It'll be Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo once again, third to first across the infield. Giovanni Soto been swinging a hot bat lately. He'll be behind the plate for left-hander Travis Wood. Mentioned Travis coming off arguably his best outing of the year against the Mets. Went 7 strong innings, gave up only 5 base hits of shutout baseball. Struck out 6, walked only 1.
As we get our umpires today, Mike Everett will call balls and strikes in his 14th full year. New Mexico native. Paul Schreiber, the crew chief Tim Welke, and Laz Diaz on the bases. Big crowd on hand today. As Jose Altuve, the lone Astros All-Star. First time for him on the All-Star team, and this is his first game since a week ago today. He suffered a sprained right hamstring. So the lefty Travis Wood deals, and a fastball upper part of the zone for strike 1. One of the rare midsummer afternoons in which it's actually much cooler at 2:15 than it was at about 10 a.m. 79 degrees.
Steamy, hot, and humid this morning. The winds blew through here right about game time, right around 1 o'clock, 1:15. Fortunately, no rain as Altuve pulls one foul down into the Cubs bullpen. It looked like what rain did hit the Chicago area was well south of Wrigley Field.
Southwest wind at 4 miles an hour. Not doing a whole lot right now. 7th career start for Travis Wood against the Astros. Heatered miss just outside.
Jose Altuve having himself an outstanding season. A lot of people outside of the state of Texas have never heard of this guy, but going to his first All-Star game this year, will represent the Astros well.
I made his major league debut last year. He has hit .294 and 506 career at bats, including .309 this season. Brad Mills certainly happy to have his leadoff hitter back in the lineup. They had scored just 2 runs combined in the first 2 games.
This is what Altuve is good at. Pesky hitter. Sees a lot of pitches per plate appearance. Doesn't walk a lot, only 15 base on balls in 285 at bats this season, but he will see a lot of pitches.
Swings and foul tips for strike 3. Altuve generally hits first or second in the lineup, leading off today against the lefty. Long at bat, but it results in a strikeout. You see not one of those pitches actually in our pitch tracks box.
Well, this is kind of the way Travis Wood started in his outing against the Mets, commanding his pitches around the edge of the zone. Only made a couple of mistakes in the middle of the plate all game against the Mets last time out.
Strike on Jed Lowry. 1 for 5 in the series. Wood finished up an excellent month of June. 5 starts, a 2.27 earned run average. He's made 8 starts. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 7 of those outings. Popped up right side. Rizzo will have room.
You talk to people close to the Astros, they would tell you that Jed Lowry had a legitimate case to make the National League All-Star team this year, having a nice year, especially with the power numbers. Always a tough time of year to try to select the guys for that All-Star team. Obviously, the fans vote for the starting squads for both leagues, but after that, you get into the player voting. The extra guy, the 35th man on that All-Star squad, another fan vote. Somebody's always going to be left off.
The rosters are pretty big, but you always find several worthy candidates who don't make it. In the American League, Ron Washington says the one guy he's really disappointed about not finding a way to get him on the team was A.J. Przinsky. Joe Mauer made it because every team has to be represented. You could do a lot worse than Joe Mauer, that's for sure. You think it is a good rule that every team has to have an all-star?
You know, I do. I know a lot of people don't subscribe to that particular theory, but I think, you know, for the all-star game, of course, it means something now, but basically it's an exhibition game, and I think fans from every part of this country ought to have a guy to root for in the all-star game.
A couple of Angels there on the right, young Mike Trout and Mark Trumbo, Konerko and Dunn from the White Sox. Chris Sales on the team. Carlos Lee with a high fly ball out toward Reed Johnson, drifting deep right center. And Travis Wood goes 1-2-3 after a 56-minute rain delay. The Cubs come up against Wandy. Chicago Cubs. Leadoff spot, Reed Johnson playing center. Castro, the all-star. Rizzo at first. Baker's in right. Sick numbers against Wandy Rodriguez. Soto had a big day yesterday. Look at what he's done against Wandy. Joe Mather in left because Alfonso Soriano has not done well against the lefty. Barney, Valbuena, and Wood rounded out.
Quick look at the Astros defensively this afternoon. J.D. Martinez in left, Brian Bogasevic in center, Brian Bixler over in right field. It'll be Downs, Lowry, Altuve, and El Caballo. Carlos Lee across the infield, third to first. Castro doing the catching today for left-hander Wandy Rodriguez.
Straight fastball for a strike.
17th start of the season for Wandy Rodriguez. He's always been a guy that gives up about a hit per inning. You see he relies a lot on his fastball and curveball. Will mix in straight change-ups, especially to the right-handed hitters.
He has thrown the highest percentage of curveballs in the major leagues, ahead of A.J. Burnett. When it's working for him, it is a devastating breaking ball. There it is right there, and Johnson bounds one over to Matt Downs. He takes care of it.
And I mentioned earlier that Wandy Rodriguez has changed very little over the course of his career. The first 2 years of his major league career with the Astros, he did throw a slider, he did throw an occasional cutter. But starting with the 2007 season, he's just been fastball, curveball, changeup, and especially a lot of curveballs.
Starlin Castro comes in at 298. Took 2 walks yesterday. One was intentional, but his first 2-walk game of the season. At 22, he's made the All-Star team twice already. Going to be old hat after a while. I have a feeling he's going to be there a lot. He chops one to the left side. Downs will get this one as well. And 2 away. Here comes Anthony Rizzo.
First baseman number 44, Anthony Rizzo.
Get the feeling Anthony Rizzo is going to make a few all-star teams over the course of his career as well. A changing of the guard at first base. We talked about it last week with Prince Fielder moving to the American League along with Albert Pujols. Joey Votto, the reigning champ over there at first base, but Brian Rizzo stayed his case as his career moves on. His first Cubs home run yesterday, way out of here to right field, and just missed one earlier in the game to straightaway center field.
2 quick strikes on the slugging first baseman.
A little different look that time by Rodriguez. Dropped down low 3/4, nearly sidearm with that last delivery to Rizzo.
Rodriguez's season's been a little odd. His ERA each month keeps going up. Roller to Altuve to end the inning. Very quick 1-2-3 for Rodriguez on, I believe, 7 pitches.
premier outlet for special MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. From game used baseballs, bases, and jerseys to autographed bats and photos, Cubs Authentic has the most exclusive Cubs memorabilia. Visit the Wrigley Field Concourse, the Cubs store, or email CubsAuthentic@Cubs.com for all your Cubs memorabilia needs.
1-0 on J.D. Martinez, the left fielder. Near the midway point, 46 knocked in, which projects to 95 RBIs by season's end. The 2-0, he hits a one-hopper right to Luis Valbuena. That'll bring up Matt Downs. He's going to play right now at third with Chris Johnson scratched. He's made starts at third, first, right, and second. Wood likes to work fast. It's a little one hopper, kind of a squirrely bounce there as Barney had a couple of options there, decided to play it on the bounce. Instead of a putout, gets an assist.
I think in hindsight, Darwin Barney would prefer to charge that ball and not make any throw whatsoever, but the ball checked up on him. He's able to stay with it and throw on in plenty of time to get downs. Look at the spin on that ball as it takes a squirrely hop back to Darwin Barney's right, but two hands on the ball right there, able to make the play.
Bogusevic is in center today. Normally plays right. His third start in center.
Watching that little ground ball to Darwin Barney right there, Len, in an odd kind of way, the harder the ball's hit, the less chance of it taking a bad hop. Those balls that are hit off the end of the bat or jam shots like we just saw to the right side of the field, they tend to take some squirrely bounces when they're not hit particularly hard.
That'll be caught out there by Jeff Baker. So each lefty seems to have his good stuff here early on. Where you'll find the seat you want, the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub. Jeff Baker playing right. Sure, when the probables for this series came out, Jeff Baker quickly took a look because he knows when Wandy Rodriguez is in there, so will Baker. 10 for 23 for a .435 career average. Jam shot pop up. Carlos Lee battling the sun, makes a catch in foul ground.
5 doubles among his 10 hits against Wandy Rodriguez. That time the lefty got the better of Jeff Baker. Little jam shot pop up to the right side.
Good day for Giovanni Soto yesterday. Singled, walked, doubled. Grounded out in his final at bat. Nice job behind the plate. Nifty caught stealing in the first inning on a bounced curveball. He was able to make the play behind the plate, nail Jordan Schaefer at second.
I know that made Mike Borzello happy. Mike is the catching instructor. He's a staff assistant coach with the Cubs. His area of expertise is the area right behind home plate. And talking to him about throwing out potential base stealers, he feels like catchers everywhere are a little bit too deliberate. It's a very low percentage play to begin with. Even the best catchers usually only throw out 30 to 40% of the opposing base stealers. So with that in mind, get rid of it quickly. Unload it. Get it down there to your middle infielder as fast as you can. Let him deal with it. And Gio was able to do that yesterday on that breaking ball in the dirt. Unloaded quickly to second base for the caught stealing.
Full count, 3-2. Here it is. Hit hard on the ground, but Jed Lowry will throw him out. Well, if you think about yesterday, and the runs weren't that plentiful. The Cubs won the game 3-2. Matt Garza gave up 2 runs and 5 1/3. Jay Happ went 6, gave up 3, but they had to really grind it out. Both guys. It has not been the case here early on for these two lefties. Travis Wood and Wandy Rodriguez getting quick outs. Rodriguez needed 9 pitches in the first inning. As he faces Joe Mather, Soriano gets a breather. Plus, made it easy for Dale Swaim. Fonzie's 4 for 38.
Ouch.
Against Rodriguez.
And that's what you do as a skipper. You look for those opportunities to rest your regular players against a pitcher that they haven't had success against in the past. Get those bench guys in there, get them some very valuable at bats. I mean, unless you're Starlin Castro, you don't play every day anyway. So pick your spots well.
Mather pops up and Lowry makes a grab to end the inning. Rodriguez and Wood cruising along through 2.
trials on Comcast Sportsnet. Watch the London teams form in the final rounds of swimming, track and field, and gymnastics. July 4th, the excitement of the Olympics is on Comcast Sportsnet. Visit csnchicago.com for listings.
And speaking of the All-Star extravaganza coming up a little over from a week from now, the Futures game, which I believe is next Sunday, correct?
I think
a couple
you're right,
days
yeah.
before the actual All-Star game. HOU will represent the Cubs and will play for the World Team. Congrats to him.
Exciting player. I'll tell you, I've seen him play center field quite often. He covers a lot of ground.
1 ball, 1 strike to Brian Bixler, the right fielder. Castro, the catcher. And Rodriguez, the sometimes switch hitting pitcher. Chopper foul.
I wonder what the determining factor is for Wandy Rodriguez. We've seen him bat left-handed against right-handed pitching. We've seen him bat right-handed against right-handed pitching. So it just kind of depends on how he feels as he comes out of that dugout.
Maybe a better bunter from one side or the other. Another one foul. Well, whatever he's done this year, it hasn't worked. He's 0 for 27.
He's perfect.
Called strike 3. That one up to 93 miles an hour.
Boy, and a nice job of receiving that pitch by Giovanni Soto. Borderline low on our Liberty Mutual pitch tracks. Pulls it up just enough to get the call for Mike Everett behind home plate. Perfectly executed fastball at the knees on the outside corner. Gio will come up just ever so slightly with that glove after receiving the pitch.
Castro hit .302 in the month of June, his highest monthly batting average as a big leaguer. Nothing in 2. By the way, you were, I'm told, the nominee for Broadcaster of the Month for June. Not sure when those results will be out.
Probably a few months from now.
We'll keep you posted. Kick and the 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. With 3 for Wood.
Probably not the location he wanted to throw that slider, but it works nonetheless as Castro freezes. Takes what he thought was a high breaking ball, drops down in to the very top part of the strike zone.
All right, so according to Baseball Reference, this year Rodriguez is 0 for 2 with 3 sack bunts as a right-handed batter against right-handed pitchers. He's going to bounce out to Valbuena. Rather, for the third and final out. More on Wandy's offensive prowess a little later on. As we look at the high-speed shots of the ominous clouds coming through during the rain delay, it was 56 minutes. Very heavy winds in the area. We have a shot of reportedly a car through a roof, and then we have your car.
Yeah,
actually got hit by a garbage can.
Really?
Yeah. We were making that up. Not yours. The other car on the roof. That was kidding. But yeah. Hope you have good insurance. I hope actually the garbage can has good insurance because we believe it was its fault.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. The car's just a loaner anyway.
We understand the garbage can is a loaner as well. LONER. Doesn't hang out with the other recycle bins and things. We have not yet seen a base runner. 9 up, 9 down for Travis Woods. 6 up, 6 retired for Wandy Rodriguez.
I wish I could think of the specifics of this particular story. When you mentioned that I was nominated for Broadcaster of the Month, very facetiously I might add, reminded me of a story. When Pete Rose was playing third base for the Cincinnati Reds, he told the third base umpire in the first inning one day, hey, we took a vote amongst our team and we voted you the second best umpire in the league. And the guy says, is that right? Who was number one? Pete said, everybody else.
Everybody else tied for first.
Yeah.
High, and it's 2-2.
That high fastball from Wandy Rodriguez is usually used to set up the next curveball. He comes right back with another high fastball. There's a lot of downward movement on his curve. It's a tremendous off-speed pitch, and as I mentioned, he likes to set it up with the high fastball and then throw the curveball that appears to be headed to the same location until it takes the break and drops down into the zone.
Play by the pitcher. And we'll go 1-3. Cubs still haven't hit a ball out of the infield. One away, and it'll bring up Valbuena. Rodriguez, an interesting guy. I think he's long been underrated. You don't hear people talking about Wandy Rodriguez when you think about the elite left-handers in baseball, at least the National League. He has thrived at Minute Maid Park with a career 3.45 earned run average. Was it last year or the year before there were rumors that he might end up with the Rockies, but the Astros held on to him. 33 years old, and he's been a pretty consistent guy.
I think it takes a special kind of lefty to be successful at Minute Maid Park, and Wandy Rodriguez is one of those guys. He realizes that if he can get those dangerous right-handed batters to hit the ball to the big part of the park there, he can get a lot of easy fly ball outs.
That one rolled in the right. And the first base hit of the afternoon. The Cubs' streak of not being no hit continues, dating back to 1965.
It's a low fastball this time from Wandy Rodriguez. Luis Valbuena once again hits the ball hard. This time just a rollover grounder that gets through that right side of the infield. He hangs in there well against lefties.
Travis Wood, fly ball to right. And it'll be caught by Bixler for the second out. Do the quick math here, partner. Cubs have the major league record for consecutive games of at least 9 innings without being no hit. 73-39 going into the season. So this is game 78. Do the quick math.
1. Need me to take my shoes off.
7,417 consecutive games without being no hit. September 9th, 1965, Sandy Koufax threw a perfect game against the Cubs. I get it. Not good at math on the fly. And actually, you go back to 1917. So over the past 95 years, the Cubs have been no hit 3 times. 52 and then twice in 1965. Carl Erskine, Jim Maloney, Sandy Koufax. That's it. Oh, 0-2 to Reed Johnson. One neat thing we get to see that a lot of fans do not. Some of the Cubs veteran guys with young sons who occasionally like to come out and take batting practice with their wiffle bats and balls. Reed Johnson's son Tice was out here today, and Ryan Dempster had his son Brady for a little personal batting practice. Game of catch.
Wrigley Field, the world's greatest backyard.
Oh, yeah. Backhanded by Lowry, and he will get it to Lee in plenty of time to end the inning. Valbuena with the first hit of the game, but we are still scoreless at the end of 3.
Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
And the Menards grounds crew dealing with the rain delay earlier. This field is in great shape. They resodded prior to this homestand. No score as the Astros will have the top of their order up for the second time, starting with Jose Altuve against Travis Wood. Altuve can hit. You go back to last year, we mentioned his big league debut. You add up his minor league, major league, and Venezuelan Winter League numbers, he had 898 plate appearances, 282 hits in the calendar year.
Career .327 hitter in the minor leagues with the Astros.
High fly ball deep to left. Joe Mather still with some room. He has it.
Not a breath of wind right now. The flag's hanging straight down out there in center field, and it's a good thing. Altuve cast that ball high in the air to left field. Mather just kept drifting deeper and deeper until eventually able to make the catch right in front of the vines.
Jed Lowry with a fly ball out into right. It's Baker to make the grab, 2 outs.
I'll tell you what, Len, at about 1:15 this afternoon, had Jed Lowry hit that ball, it might have landed
in the lake.
In the lake. I mean, the winds were blowing through here 50 miles per hour plus. The flags were just absolutely starched straight out to right field. Timing is everything.
Big day for Carlos Lee, as he said yesterday he was going to make his decision today on whether or not to accept a trade to the Dodgers. But at last check, he had not made a decision.
I think the fact that he's in the lineup would say that he's probably going to stay in Houston. I mean, if he was agreeable to be traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers, you have to figure the Dodgers wouldn't want him to play this afternoon. Get him out of there, not risk an injury. Get him off to join his new ball club as quickly as possible. But the fact he's in the lineup tells me there's a good chance that El Caballo is going to stay deep in the heart of Texas.
Tell you one thing, the Dodgers need some help offensively. They got shut out again last night. Hard hit grounder, backhanded by Castro. Looks it in. And Travis Wood is not allowed a base runner. Perfect through 4 in a 0-0 tie. '84, and tickets are available now for the international friendly at the Confines soccer match between Italy's AS Roma and Poland's Zagłębie Lubin. It's going to be Sunday, July 22nd at 2:30. The majority of the seats are available for $50 or less. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com/soccer. Castro, Rizzo, Baker against Rodriguez, fouled back. Happy 71st birthday wishes go out to a big Cub fan, Bill Zeitler, celebrating his birthday today here at the ballpark. And Riley Baden also celebrating a birthday, her 7th, here with her family. His bat as he backs up Lowry. Close play at first, but he got him. Lowry's been busy here early on. How about this pitching staff? The National League All-Stars. You got Matt Cain. You got R.A. Dickey. You got Gio Gonzalez, Cole Hamels, Clayton Kershaw, Steven Strasburg. Not to mention all those relievers. Houston Street has been lights out. Hard throwing Craig Kimbrell, Aroldis Chapman. Be interesting to see what Tony La Russa decides to do in terms of a starter. I would think Cain and Dickey would be two guys you'd think about. The other thing about an all-star team, and you can speak to this, and I'm remiss in not remembering who started for you in the 0-2 game, but you know, now that it counts, you want to think about trying to line up your pitchers a certain way, as Rodriguez will underhand and Rizzo's 0 for 2. But there's a huge honor in starting the All-Star game, Bob. So how much of it is who simply has been the best starting pitcher of the first half, who's most deserving, versus this is the best guy we feel in this matchup today?
That's the eternal question, I guess. A lot of it has to do with also who's on their schedule, who's on their day to pitch regularly, because obviously that's the guy who is probably most prepared to go out there and take the ball to start an all-star game. But many times because the all-star pitching staff is made up of aces, those guys all throw on the same day. It happens occasionally, but it's going to be a tough decision for Tony La Russa to figure that out. But one thing we know, he's going to use his bullpen liberally.
Well, one thing we also know is that list we just showed you, it probably will change.
Right.
Because guys who will not be available will be replaced. They will still get all-star consideration, but they will not be allowed to be on the active roster if they are unavailable to pitch. Who started for you in 0-2?
You know, who was it? Was it RJ or Schill? One or the other.
One of your guys.
Yeah, one of those guys.
I can find out.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, Len, for me, being a former catcher, it'll be more interesting to see who gets to catch R.A. Dickey. Buster Posey was elected the starting catcher, so if Dickey starts the game, obviously it's going to be Buster Posey, but Carlos Ruiz and Yadier Molina off the bench for the National League behind the plate. Somebody's going to get that knuckleball.
It was Kurt Schilling. Then Mike Williams, and Dallas Perez, and Eric Gagne, and Trevor Hoffman, and Mike Remlinger, Young Kim, Rob Nen, John Smoltz, Vicente Padilla.
Yeah,
a lot of pitching changes.
Padilla was the guy we were saving to go multiple innings because he was a starting pitcher that year. But as he went down to warm up in the bullpen at Miller Park, we got a call and said he's not feeling real good. He might be able to give you one. The rest is history.
He actually gave you two. 3-2 on Jeff Baker with 2 outs, nobody on. Swing and a miss. Inning over. First strikeout for Rodriguez. Still 0-0. since Carl Yastrzemski in 1967. He was the only player to finish first or second in his league in average, homers, RBIs, and runs. He has won the Triple Crown in 1967. Well, if I had to take just a wild guess, I would think about Matt Kemp last year, but I don't know. Finishing the top 2 in all 3 or 4 of those categories. We'll find out. Martinez takes ball 1 inside.
Martinez took advantage of some breaking pitches from Matt Garza in the ball game yesterday. He was really having trouble catching up to the high fastball, especially pitches on the inside part of the plate. Garza rolled a slider up there in one at bat, a curveball in another, left him up in the zone, and Martinez punished him. We talked about him throughout this series. A lot of upper body movement. He starts with his bat straight up and down. He'll end up laying it down flat behind his body and then bringing it back straight up again. Usually guys that have that much movement with their hands in their bat have trouble catching up to the high heater.
Down the line, foul.
The lower body works good. He gets that foot down quickly, but you see all that movement very late with the bat. Tough to catch up to a good fastball, especially one up and in.
13th batter Travis Wood has faced today. There's 3 strikeouts, 4 groundouts, foul out, 4 flyouts to the outfield. Altuve hit one to the warning track. Led off the 4th. Fair pass to Valbuena as Martinez will make his way to second with the double. First hit, first base runner for the Astros.
Tell you, Len, Luis Valbuena had a 2-error game earlier this week, but he has had some unbelievably tough chances down there at third. This ball is hit like a bullet. That second hop came way up near shoulder high as Valbuena went down to a knee to try to knock that drive down.
Down showed bunt and took the fastball off the plate. 1-0. Each team with 1 hit. Popped him up near short, and it's Castro. There will be an extra spot on each All-Star team. So MLB.com has the voting for the extra player in the American League. Choices are Jonathan Broxton of the Kansas City Royals, the Rangers' Yu Darvish, Ernesto Frieri of the Angels, Jason Hamill of the Orioles, and the White Sox' Jake Peavy. So all pitchers for that final spot in the American League. Probably can't go too wrong with any of those choices.
Perhaps Darvish would arouse the most curiosity for baseball fans who haven't seen him pitch yet.
And then I think the NL voting will be much more interesting. Here's why. You've got Bourne, Freese, Harper, Hill, and Jones. Do you go with Bryce Harper, the teenager, or do you go with Chipper Jones, who is going to retire after the season? I think it's going to be one of those two.
I think it's going to be Chipper, and rightfully so. You know, maybe not having an all-star caliber season, but we've seen it happen many times in the past where a guy is coming up to the end of his career. You know, it's probably going to be his last rodeo as far as all-star games go, and I don't think anybody in the National League would be too upset if that were Chipper Jones.
I wish it had been both, almost like one guy passing the torch to the other. He's 20 years older than Bryce Harper.
Yeah, like I said about Anthony Rizzo earlier in the ballgame, I think Bryce Harper's going to make a few all-star games before all is said and done.
Martinez led off the inning with a double. First hit for the Stros, and a 1-2 count on Bogusevic with one out.
Of course, if you want to pick the hottest hitter, because you know the game does count. The National League's trying to win. Aaron Hill would have to be the guy. He is about the hottest hitter on the planet right now. 2 cycles in a 12-day span.
What a late pinch runner, Michael Bourne.
We've kicked this around in the past, and you know how I feel about it. If you're going to put it on the managers to win the game for their league to get home field advantage in the World Series, you ought to let the manager pick the teams. I mean, a guy like Tony Campana, not deserving of an all-star appearance this season, even though he does lead the majors in stolen bases. But if you need a pinch runner late in a ball game in order to win that game for your league to get home field advantage, I want to have Tony Campana on my roster.
Bogusevic is out. Martinez at third with 2 away. Buena in at third, everybody else back. Swing and a miss. Final already in Miami. The Marlins have swept the Phillies 5-2. Giancarlo Stanton with a home run. Found out earlier today he had made the All-Star team. Miami has won 4 in a row. Rizzo and Barney, and it's a second baseman to record out number 3. Leadoff double wasted as Wood works around it.
first 20,000 fans a chance to win free food. The Cubs get a base hit in the 5th inning. Fans with a base hit for Burritos game card win a free entree.
Soto, Mather, Barney against Rodriguez. Scoreless tie. First pitch swinging. Jed Lowry again will get Soto.
And I want to send a shout out to Michael McDermott, one of our favorite anthem singers here at Wrigley Field. A great show last night at Lincoln Hall in support of his new CD, Hit Me Back. His wife Heather Horton up on stage with him. What a great show.
The best anthem singers around.
Yep.
Tim and Jill Doherty, originally from Peoria, but now living in Geneva, Switzerland, are here with their 12-year-old twins, Nick and Hannah. Guess who? Jed Lowry. Best season ticket option in the city continues to be the PNC Club of Chicago. Tickets in this exclusive club come with added benefits, including VIP parking. Your guests will enjoy an all-inclusive top-shelf bar and gourmet food in a climate-controlled suite with celebrities and former Cub players. For information, contact the Premier Sales Team, 773-404-4200 or Cubs.com/Premier. Base hit. Hard to make a living today hitting a ball to the left side of the Astros infield, but Barney found that seam.
We've talked about this many times in the past, Len. Opposing teams always play their third baseman in with Darwin Barney at the plate, like they're expecting him to try to bunt for a base hit. This time, the shallow nature of the third baseman allows that ball to sneak through into left field for an easy base hit.
Valbuena 1 for 1. Outside. According to Elias, Wandy Rodriguez has now appeared in 8 of the last 13 series between these two teams. So while it seems like he pitches against the Cubs every time, it's close.
First career game against the Cubs, even record at 6-6. And that's one of the things that makes him so tough. We just saw that 2-0 pitch to Luis Valbuena was a curveball. He's rarely going to give in to an opposing hitter, especially when his best pitch he feels he can throw for a strike whenever he wants.
Bob, good to hear Justin Bird is back and pitching with the Mesa Cubs. 2 scoreless innings yesterday. His first appearance since coming back from Tommy John surgery. A long road back, but nice to see that he's on a mound facing an opposing team. Another line foul. Cubs bullpen.
You hope the worst of his rehab is over, and now it's just a matter of developing the arm strength necessary to take a role on a pitching staff, whether it be as a reliever or starting pitcher.
So Justin had the surgery in September of last year. Talking about the All-Star announcements today. How about the Red Sox? They got one All-Star, David Ortiz, starting DH. First time since 2001 the Red Sox haven't had at least two. Valbuena high in the air, deep to right center. Way back and caught by the center fielder, Bogusevic. The wind, believe it or not, blowing in. Still scoreless. A question: since Yaz in 1967, the only player to finish 1 or 2 in his league in average homers, RBIs, and runs. Here you go. Jeff Bagwell, 1994. I didn't know that. 94. He won the MVP. Slugged .750 to lead the majors that year. 300 total bases.
His career came to a premature end because of shoulder issues. Really got to the place where he couldn't throw the ball at all by the end of his career, but he could still swing that bat.
Castro fouls off. Well, we've got an interesting little spat that has been rekindled.
I like spats.
The Cincinnati Reds feel Brandon Phillips and Johnny Cueto deserve to be on the All-Star team. And they don't think it's a coincidence that Tony La Russa is managing the NL All-Stars, and they feel very slighted. And remember, those two teams haven't gotten along very well. Dusty Baker in particular, quoted in the Cincinnati Enquirer saying, a snub like that looks bad. Johnny and Brandon were at the center of the skirmish between us and the Cardinals. Some Cardinals who aren't there anymore are making some of the selections. He didn't seem to mind that the media would make a big deal about those comments. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Travis Wood continuing to work around the edges of the zone on our BMO Harris pitch tracks. Good fastball just off of that outside corner with a little bit of movement away from the left-handed hitting Castro for strike 3.
Johnny Cueto made some even more interesting comments.
Keep spatting. I like it.
Okay. This is according to the Cincinnati Enquirer. Thought the way I pitched this year I'd have a chance to go to the All-Star game. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the manager of the All-Star game is, I'll use the word upset at me because I went out with one of his girlfriends.
Well, I think it has more to do with the fact that you kicked one of his players in the head with your cleats.
That was mentioned in the article as well. That was Jason LaRue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun for Joey Votto and Aroldis Chapman to walk into the clubhouse now, huh? Hey, Skip.
Hey.
How are you? Jay Bruce also made it.
Well, we've heard it a million times, not only in the game of baseball, but in all sports. You're held accountable for your actions. And some people's memories are a little longer than others.
Now, the Reds, they got 3. They wanted 5. Not going to get in the middle of it. Down the right field line, and Darwin Barney with a catch. A little snow cone, but he was able to gobble it up.
Three Cub defenders chasing that ball. The one with the smallest glove makes the catch. Darwin Barney with that second base mitt that's more really for deflecting the flight of a baseball than actually catching a baseball. Rizzo with the big first baseman's mitt gives way. Jeff Baker gave way at the last instant. Darwin Barney able to stay with it and make the play. And I know you've seen this as the players come out and warm up before a ball game, whether it's a visiting team or the Cubs. Those guys in the middle infield, Starlin Castro, Darwin Barney. I've seen Luis Valbuena do it. Seen a lot of players on opposing teams. When those middle infielders play catch, they rarely catch the ball in their glove. They'll almost deflect it from the glove into their throwing hand. That ball is only in their glove for an instant, which serves them well when they attempt to turn double plays out in the middle of the infield.
Dale Swain today talking about Castro in particular and how his turns at second base used to be 2 steps. Step on the bag and then kind of flat-footed throw to first as Altuve singles into right. Each team now with 2 knocks. So he's been more fluid, 1 step instead of the stop, catch, and throw. And the Cubs want him to be with his momentum moving toward first, so when he lets go of the ball, as Dale said, it's about an 82-foot throw, not a 90-foot throw. And I think it's even more important for this particular double play combo, Bob, because the Cubs don't play at double play depth. They've got to be quicker on those turns.
Now Castro can make up for some lost ground with that cannon of a throwing arm that he has. Get a look at a double play from the ball game yesterday. Good feed by Darwin Barney. And Castro comes way wide of the bag that time. Had time to clear himself from that sliding runner. You mentioned the word fluid, and I like to say flow. You want everything to flow together. It shouldn't be step 1, step 2, step 3 to turn a double play. It should all flow together. And in that respect, Castro has grown by leaps and bounds this year.
That's a strike to Lowry, who was fouled out and flied out. The other part of it, and you've seen this happen a lot, Cubs have really stressed when guys are near the bag to not throw it, just to get to the bag, make sure you get that one out, and if you can turn it, great. And if you're really close to your double play partner and you make that flip, you might not get any outs. And there was a stumble by Darwin Barney yesterday, so he had a long way to go. He got the out there and still made a pretty good throw to get 2. But, talking to Jamie Quirk today, said they've really stressed, make sure you get just that one at least. Don't botch the whole thing. There have been some tweeners where you can see they're not quite sure, flip or take it myself, and for the most part in all those cases they've decided to take it unassisted.
Most coaching staffs in the big leagues, in a situation where you could potentially have a double play, they'll remind their infielders, get 2 one at a time. Make sure you get that lead runner first before you try to rush that throw or rush your turn at second base in an effort to turn the double play. Get 2 one at a time. I think of the days of Ozzie Smith playing shortstop for the Cardinals all those years, and I mean, obviously he was a different breed. He could do things defensively that other players wouldn't even consider doing, but he would take that relay throw from the second baseman many times and throw and step on the bag simultaneously at second while he's leaping in the air to avoid the sliding runner. He was like a ghost at second base. You try to break up a double play and you think you were right on him and you had a good chance to flip him out there at second base, and next thing you know, you're rolling around in the dirt and he's nowhere to be seen.
Lowry with a fly to center. Reed Johnson in about 2 steps. That'll end the inning. We go to the last of the 6th. Still 0-0. Batting in the 6th. 0-0 tie. Fair ball. Travis Wood cranks one into the left field corner. On his way to second, it's a double. Oftentimes a joke in baseball, if a pitcher wants to win, hit a home run, pitch a shutout. Well, how about a leadoff double?
In years past, Carlos Zambrano was the starting pitcher that the manager was most likely to use as a pinch hitter. I think we've identified our pinch hitter on the pitching staff, Travis Wood. Very comfortable in that right-handed batter's box, very smooth runner on the bases. He's the emergency pinch hitter.
3 doubles already this year.
Astros expecting a sacrifice bunt from Reed Johnson as we're getting into the latter stages of this scoreless ball game here. Both the third baseman, first baseman well drawn in. Reed Johnson has yet to put down a sac bunt this season.
Doesn't show bunt. Set pitch outside, ball 1.
I love to watch the corner infielders when a batter does not show bunt in what could be an obvious sacrifice situation. They immediately look into the bench. Do you still want me to play in here at the edge of the grass, or can I back up a few steps? Still not quite sure are the Astros.
Fastball paints the outside edge. 1-1. Reed's had a really nice year, particularly off the bench. He has hit .500 as a pinch hitter, 10 for 20. Rodriguez, product of the Astros Dominican Academy, signed back in 1999. He needs a strikeout here. Johnson trying to hit the ball. Oh, nice play by Downs. Johnson, and an even better play by Travis Wood. Well, Reed Johnson was trying to hit the ball to the right side in that at bat. He did not. Downs made a nice play to get him at first, but Travis Wood read that perfectly. And he's at third with 1 out.
Can't do it any better than that as a base runner. Rodriguez with a hanging breaking ball. Reed Johnson hit it hard. A nice play by Matt Downs at third, but Travis Wood just held his ground at second base, waited for Downs to unload that throw across the infield. He was off like a shot to third base. Hold your ground, hold your ground, hold your ground. There's the throw. And no return throw that time from Carlos Lee from first base.
See what the Astros do here. They work around Castro or pitch to him in this spot. Rizzo is on deck. Anthony's 0 for 2 against the lefty.
Well, you would assume they're going to pitch very carefully to Starlin Castro here, which usually means elevated fastballs and breaking balls in the dirt from Wandy Rodriguez, but pitchers have been known to make mistakes.
Infield in. Ball 1. Now this inning's been all about Travis Wood, a leadoff double and a heads up base running maneuver to get to third on a ground out to third.
Breaking ball in the dirt that time. Wandy Rodriguez has uncorked 4 wild pitches this year. Jason Castro behind the plate with 4 pass balls. If they are indeed trying to pitch around Castro with breaking pitches in the dirt, could see one get to the bricks.
Starlin asks for time. Yeah, this is one of those spots for Castro, Bob. It's interesting. 2-0. Really, the Astros working around him. 3-0 now. Well, the really good hitters, you're going to work around him. They'll let the next guy take his turn. Just don't want to see Starlin expand his zone too much, and maybe a little pressure taken off him now with Anthony Rizzo here and hitting behind him in the lineup. But now they'll just intentionally give him ball 4.
There has to be a certain amount of unselfishness in every ball player. I mean, when you step in that batter's box, there's nobody there to help you. It's you against that pitcher. But in the grand scheme of things, it's all about the team trying to get runners on the plate. And you're not going to give Starlin Castro anything to hit. That's fine. You're going to put him on first base and have to deal with Anthony Rizzo.
First and third, 1 out. Ground ball, base hit. Rizzo with another go-ahead RBI. Wood is in. Castro to third. 1-0.
Looked like a first pitch breaking ball from Wandy Rodriguez on the outside part of the plate, and Rizzo goes out and hooks it back to the right side where the hole was. You see the rotation on that breaking ball working its way toward the outside corner. Rizzo doesn't let it get there. With good aggressive base running, turns a corner at second, makes it all the way to third base. Get on that merry-go-round.
Doug Brocale, the pitching coach, heading back into the dugout. Knees for a strike to Baker. He's fouled out and struck out. Left field for Baker as the Cubs add on. Castro scores. Here comes Rizzo around third. Pat Listash is going to send him. Relay throw to the plate. Not in time. 2-run double.
Len, we've seen some very tentative defense in left field by J.D. Martinez in this series, and Pat Listash takes advantage. You see Pat Listash working his way further and further down that third base line, waving Rizzo the whole way. The relay by the Astros, too late. Not looking at the ball whatsoever, just picked up his third base coach, rounded the corner at third, and scores the third run of the game for the Cubs.
Blocked by Castro.
Kind of out of character for Wandy Rodriguez. He's a guy that normally gets better as he gets deeper into the ball game. Generally, when you get to Rodriguez, you get him early. First or second plate appearance of the game, but Third time through the order here for the Cubs, starting to break through against the Astros lefty.
David Carpenter will get up in the Astros bullpen. Ball inside to Joe Mather. Cubs trying to tie their season high in terms of a winning streak. Their third in a row. Outside corner, 2-1.
Hit in the hot dog stand. Breaking pitch that worked its way off the inside corner. Mather had already committed. There really wasn't much he could do as far as keeping that ball fair. So go ahead and pull it foul hard. Should have cut fastball off the plate inside. Headed toward an usher. Trying to crowd Joe Mather throughout the course of this at bat. The pitch number 3 on our BMO Harris pitch tracks was a breaking ball at the very top reaches of the strike zone. Everything else has been inside off the plate.
3-2 with Barney on deck. 3 runs in as the Cubs have grabbed the lead. Ball past Rodriguez, but right to Altuve. The inning is over, but a good one for the Cubs. Travis Wood led it off with a double. Anthony Rizzo with his third go-ahead RBI of the week. Jeff Baker, longtime Rodriguez nemesis, plating 2.
Children ages 5 to 13 of all abilities, the ultimate major league experience for 8 one-week sessions in 6 convenient locations around the Chicago area. Join fellow teammates for a week of top-notch baseball instruction, exclusive access, and unforgettable moments. Visit Cubs.com/camps to sign up your future Cub today.
17 consecutive scoreless innings now for Travis Wood, as he gets into the 7th, facing Carlos Lee and leading 3-0. He's held the Astros to 2 hits through 6. And in fact, those are the only 2 Houston base runners: a double by Martinez in the 5th, a single by Altuve in the 6th. Captain Morgan's 7th inning stretch coming up. Keith Moreland from the Cubs radio booth will handle it. A little pop up, and Castro backing up makes a catch. 1 away. Their final. Cleveland beat Baltimore 6-2 today. Shelley Duncan had a homer and 2 doubles. Jim Thome debuted for the Orioles, went 0 for 4. Yankees lost the first 2 in that 4-game set against the White Sox, but won the final 2 today, 4-2. The final tally. Phil Hughes over Gavin Floyd. Chavez and Cano homered for the Yankees. Very late swing by Martinez. The count holding at 2 strikes. Wood coming back inside that time. That's a sign from Soto. Here it is. Fastball in the dirt. Popped into shallow right. Baker coming on. Barney makes a catch. Hey, the Cubs are in good hands right now, Bob, in terms of going out and making plays like that. Starlin Castro and Darwin Barney are excellent.
Yeah, they get deeper into the outfield than a lot of outfielders to make plays. Darwin Barney comes streaking into your picture right there. And Jeff Baker with a little more experience in right field perhaps calls Barney off of that play, but as a middle infielder, you're taught to go after it until you hear somebody else call you off of the play. Barney apparently never heard a voice, so goes ahead and makes another nice running catch in shallow right field.
Downs with 2 outs. Inside for a ball. Crack bat roller. Castro will scoop. Here comes Keith Moreland. Captain Morgan, 7th inning stretch time.
Guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Cubs great and current WGN radio broadcaster Keith Moreland.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to have the guys here in the WGN crew help me. Pat Hughes, Judd Surratt, and Matt Boats. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Oh, and Barney, it's a towering fly ball to left as Martinez come over and make the play. 1 away. Cubs leading 3-0 here in the 7th.
Well, that was really good 4-part harmony in the radio booth. Unfortunately, they were singing 4 different songs. Wow. That was rough.
Sang it fast, though.
Don't quit your day job.
That was nice of Keith to involve Pat and Judd and Matt as well. The whole crew over there. Zog will do anything he can to not sing it alone. I'll tell you that.
Can't blame him for that.
Still 1-2 on Valbuena. Cubs have outscored the Astros 10-2 in this series to this point. Swing and a miss, he got him. On the curveball. Tomorrow, Starlin Castro and the Cubs open a 4-game set with Dan Uggla and the Braves at Turner Field. Coverage starts at 5 with Chicago Tribune Live. Don't miss a minute of the action. Cubs and Braves tomorrow night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Excellent hand for Travis Wood. There are your probables. We have 3 of the 4 games here on CSN. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Cubs will not face Tim Hudson. Got a nice tweet from Robert Berg, who points out correctly Travis Wood made his major league debut 2 years ago today here at Wrigley Field. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both scored after he was taken out. He was pitching for the Cincinnati Reds. He's matched that and then some here today. Don't forget what he did at the plate to start that 3-run 6th.
I know who did not forget what he did in that 3-run 6 is Wandy Rodriguez. Steady stream of breaking balls here in this at bat with 2 outs and nobody on base. Well, he throws him a fastball up and out of the zone. Travis able to foul it off, stay alive. Another curveball coming.
Bounced out in front of the plate and almost hit Wood. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Only 3 punch outs for Rodriguez, 2 in this inning, but Travis Wood back to the mound in the 8th with a 3-0 advantage. Now for our Coors Light freeze cam. Darwin Barney to make the catch with, as Bob mentioned, that real small second baseman's mitt. In foul territory, and then the basket catch in fair territory. David DeJesus now playing center. He'll go into the cleanup spot. Jeff Baker is out. Reed Johnson moves to right. Tickets are still available for the 2012 Cubs season, including the next homestand right after the All-Star break. Diamondbacks and Marlins come in starting Friday, July 13th. And to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
Well, as good as Travis Wood has been here this afternoon, Dale Swaim taking no chances as double-barreled activity in that Cubs bullpen. Looks like right-hander Sean Camp, left-hander James Russell. This can slip away quickly in a 3-run ball game. Just want to make sure you've got that bullpen ready to go should the Astros get anything going here in the 8th.
Pitch to Bogusevic is on the outside corner. Wind in the 0-2 on the way. Dribbled foul.
It's been that kind of a day for Travis Wood. You just haven't seen very many comfortable swings or comfortable at bats for the Astros hitters today. His command has been such that he can expand the strike zone either away from the hitters or in on their hands.
Bogusevic actually let go of the bat on that foul.
Trying to extend his swing there, loosened his grip just a little bit. After getting ahead in the count, Travis Wood has done exactly what I said, expand the zone away. And some very defensive swings from Bogusevic.
Valbuena. That's the first out.
Well, after expanding the strike zone away, he comes back inside, even though Giovanni Soto was set up away. That cut fastball strays over the inner part of the plate, but after seeing 3 pitches in a row on the outside part, Bogusevic gets jammed badly, hits that little roller to third base for an easy out.
Well, the Astros swept the Cubs a little over a month ago in Houston. The Cubs are trying to return the favor, 5 outs away from doing that, leading 3-0. Trying to get within 2.5 of the Astros, who are currently in 5th place in the NL Central. 0-1 to Bixler, inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. One and two. Cubs' next opponent will be the Braves. 8-4 loss to the Nationals today, so they dropped 2 of 3 in a pretty important National League East series. So Atlanta will start the night tomorrow night, 4.5 games out, and in 3rd place. Homer, 4 RBIs for Ryan Zimmerman. It was 105 in the 8th inning. Temperature, not the pitch count. Darwin Barney. Safe at first. Wow, Bixler with an infield single. Let's see. He's ready to ride in 4-3.
Well, I mean, Anthony Rizzo's not even stretching. Oh, he is so out. Well, Rizzo could have made it a little more apparent by reaching out for that throw rather than standing upright on the bag, but that's a bad call. Bad call. I mean, you applaud the hustle of Brian Bixler running out a routine ground ball to second base the way he did, but it remains he was out.
Just their third hit. Castro has struck out looking and swinging.
Travis Wood has a variety of pickoff moves to first base. We've seen him use the step-off move before. He's got a high leg kick pick to first, and then a high leg kick delivery home. He's got a slide step delivery to the plate and to first base.
David DeJesus makes a grab. 2 down here in the 8th. Chris Snyder will hit for Rodriguez. That'll bring out Dale Swain. We'll let the crowd take you to break. It's a Honda call to the pen. Travis Wood, tremendous once again today.
Trust Community Banks is Tuesday, July 17th at Wildfire in downtown Chicago. Join Pat Hughes, Ron Santo Jr., and Hall of Famer Billy Williams for a special Hall of Fame version of this live WGN radio broadcast and enjoy a great 3-course lunch, all for just $55. Tickets are available now by calling Wildfire at 312-787-9000 or visiting Cubs.com.
On to call of the pen. And it's Sean Camp against pinch hitter Chris Snyder. Runner at first, 2 outs. Cubs leading 3-0. Slider misses low and away. Slider, that one for a strike. his bat. Castro fields, throws to end the inning. So Sean Camp gets a final out of the 8th. Cubs will try to add on, already leading 3-0. Let's check in on the Cubs All-Stars. 2, in fact. Starlin Castro. I think everybody assumed he would be in for the 2nd consecutive year, and he is. And he'll be joined by first-time All-Star Brian LaHair. I will admit I was surprised, but pleasantly so. Brian LaHair has persevered for a long time. Finally gets an opportunity this season, and he's an All-Star.
What a thrill for Brian LaHair. Good to see him get hot here leading up to the All-Star game. Amassed a lot of his numbers in the early part of the season. Has been struggling a little bit lately, but can turn around in a heartbeat.
So the right-hander David Carpenter deals a strike to Reed Johnson. There he is, LaHair on the bench today against the tough lefty Rodriguez. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Saw Carpenter in the ball game yesterday. Came in to get the final 2 outs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Did surrender a single to Darwin Barney, but got Soto to ground to second. Luis Valbuena flied out to center field.
Are looking for their 2nd shutout in 3 days following a 17-1 loss in the series finale to the Mets. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Cubs.com shop.
Castro has grounded out twice, been intentionally walked, and scored the go-ahead run. Check that, the 2nd run Travis Wood scored the go-ahead run on the Anthony Rizzo go-ahead single.
Starlin's about to get red hot again when we get down to hot Atlanta. We joked about it throughout this homestand. Every time his average gets near 300 or under 300, seems like he goes on a tear. Sitting at 297 going into this at bat.
We will head to Atlanta. The Astros will fly to Pittsburgh. So the 4-game series tomorrow. Driven to deep right. And it will be caught. Nicely done by Brian Bixler. He's played a lot of right in this ballpark, I would imagine.
Pretty nice play right there. That ball hit over his head toward the vines, looking back up into the afternoon sun, able to stay with it and make the catch.
And with Rizzo coming up, Brad Mills will go to his bullpen once again. On to call to the pen, and it's Wesley Wright. And we'll be back. Cubs leading 3-0. Didn't bother Rizzo yesterday when he hit his first homer as a Cub, nor did it bother him against Wandy Rodriguez when he singled home the go-ahead run today, and he faces Wesley Wright. 2 outs, nobody on. On to call to the pen, and as you see the numbers for Wright, he is a left-handed specialist.
Strikeout per inning, a hit per inning. Righties have done considerably more damage than lefties against Wesley Wright.
Right to the belt, now to the plate. And Rizzo bounces to third. Downs will throw him out. That'll take us to the 9th. It's like Carlos Marmol's coming on, trying to save all 3 in this series. Cubs leading 3-0. Central, presented by AT&T Ubers. Coming up tonight at 6:30, full clubhouse reaction. After this one, find out who's going to Kansas City for the All-Star game. Join Chris Bowden and Chuck Garfien for Sportsnet Central, presented by AT&T Ubers. Tonight at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Tony Campana replaces David DeJesus in center. Not sure if there's an injury there or not, as Carlos Marmol will try to save the whole series, trying to get his 8th of the year. And slider for a strike. And fastball for a strike on Altuve. Fastball outside corner. Slider that time at 87. This is low and outside.
Well, what a difference for Carlos Marmol when he's throwing strike one. Whether it's a slider or a fastball makes no difference. When he jumps ahead in the count, that hitter is forced to expand the strike zone right away. Good take that time by Altuve. That's a nasty slider with a 2-strike count.
...2008 All-Star against a 2012 All-Star. Call strike 3 on a heater.
Nissan pitch tracks, fastball outside corner. Maybe one of the red seams caught the edge of the black, but that's a called strike 3 on Jose Altuve. A big first out here in the 9th inning. Just enough tailing action to bring that ball back a little bit closer to the outside corner. They get the call from home plate umpire Mike Everett.
Switch hitting Jed Lowry will bat left-handed after going 0 for 3 right-handed against Travis Wood. Two and one.
Wonder how much extra work the Cubs will get in down in Atlanta, Len. You know as well as I do that Dale Swaim likes to take advantage of those road trips to get the guys out early for some defensive work or some extra BP. But with the temperatures in the triple digits, I don't know.
Fair ball. Rizzo unassisted. That's going to be very hot, no question. 2 down, 37,389, and they're on their feet as the Cubs are out away from their second shutout in this series and a sweep of the Astros. Carlos Lee be with the Astros tomorrow night in Pittsburgh as he has a decision to make. 0 for 3 today. Check out our AT&T UVerse Multiview. 3 hits for the Astros. The Cubs have just 5, but they had that big 3-run 6th. Out in the left center field to keep the Astros alive for the time being, as Lee will motor to second with a double.
The first hard hit ball in the series for El Caballo. Got a fastball out over the plate, barrels it up, finds that gap in left center field. I don't know if I'd call what he was doing motoring, but he made it from home all the way to second without getting thrown out. Looked like he was assuming double from the moment he made contact. He jogged down the first base line, turned the corner, and jogged into second.
Maybe he was in first gear.
Stuck in first gear.
Yeah. Swing and a miss by Martinez. Key guys on deck. Tying run. That's Matt Downs. Marmol would rather end it right here. 2-2. There's a sign now from Soto. The pitch called strike 3. Cubs win. Cubs sweep. 3-0 the final. A 5-1 homestand here at Wrigley Field. Final home game before the break. There's a final pitch.
But Carlos Marmol has returned to form with that newfound fastball. A secondary weapon for him. Still has that slider in his back pocket.
Time now for our GMC player of the game. And it's Travis Wood. See his consecutive scoreless inning streak over 19 innings. Has not allowed a run over his last 2 starts. Only 1 over his last 3.
10 strikeouts, only 1 walk over his last couple of starts. He has really been on a good roll.
Cubs will head off to Atlanta for 4. New York for 3. And then the 4-day All-Star break. And it looks like Luke Stuckmeyer has grabbed a 2-time All-Star. And let's send it to Luke right now.
Thank you, Len. We are here with the 2-time All-Star. Starlin, what's it like to find out you're going back to that?
It's unbelievable. I feel really, really happy because that's why, I'll be here. That's why my goal. We make the All-Star game every year, and I make it. I'm very happy. I'm happy for Laher, too, that he make it.
Yeah, how nice is to see somebody that's put in all that time, one of your teammates, to get rewarded like that?
My teammate's very happy, too, because I make it like 2 times. Back-to-back All-Star game. My team is very happy. He told me we congratulations and everything,
A 5-1 homestand has to feel really good. Talk about the job that Travis Wood did out there for you today.
Yeah, he did a very good job. Last 2 stars, he did a very good job. The team, offensively very good too, and defense too, and win the game, win the series in here, and the last series with the Mex too.
Well, congratulations on the All-Star game, and good luck next series.
Thank you.
Starlin Castro's an all-star, Brian LaHare's an all-star, and Travis Wood sure pitched like one today, Len.
Yeah, he did, Luke, no question. Thank you, sir. We'll catch you here in just a little while with the premiere of the Batter's Box. So, for Bob, John Walsh, Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson, and our entire crew here at Wrigley Field, Len Casper saying so long. The final score, the Cubs 3, the Astros nothing. We're back at you tomorrow from Turner Field in Atlanta, 6 o'clock Central. The Cubs and the Braves on CSN. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad.